Hi friends! So today I have my everything I made in 2021 video because I love sewing and knitting and dabbling a bit in crocheting. Now I feel like this video is coming out like a little later than a lot of videos of what I made in 2021. I have been trying to make this video for a little while. That's why it's been a little like sporadic with me posting, because I've been trying to find time to do this video because I really wanted to do it. So with that, let's get into the video. I'm so excited. I am going to start off with sewing projects. I feel like a lot of these projects you might recognize from different videos that I've made because I have made videos wearing some of these items. But to start off is the first button-down blouse I ever made. It is this one. You'll probably recognize it from my Edwardian lookbook video, as well as the videos where my friends and I went to a living history museum. I actually started this blouse in 2020, but I finished it in 2021, so I'm including it in this video. And it was originally supposed to have a Peter Pan collar, but I've always had so much difficulty making Peter Pan collars, and so that didn't quite work. So I added this lace detailing collar, and I actually really like it because there is lace on the elbow length sleeves, and it just ties in really well with the lace on the top. So yes, I made this button-down blouse. Here's the back of it. I love this blouse. I can't wait for it to get warm enough to wear it again. And I am in love with the sleeves because I put these little like gathers and they just look so cute. And this was supposed to be kind of inspired by like pioneer clothing. I know I put in my Edwardian lookbook, but I feel like it could kind of work for history bounding, wearing clothes inspired by different historical time periods. I feel like it could work for several different historical time periods. So I mostly hand sewed this, but I did use a machine for a few seams. So next is the matching skirt. This skirt is completely hand sewn. It goes to about my ankles. It has a wonderful waistband, and I put a few different buttons in the waistband so I could adjust the sizing if need be. Did I say this is completely hand sewn? I'm not sure if I said this, but I actually wanted it to be a little flowier, but I got like not as much fabric as I thought I had. So it's not as full as I wanted it to be, but it's definitely very like wearable for like every day. And I love wearing this together with the blouse. I think it just looks so beautiful. That's what I did for the Living History Museum. And oh, I think the skirt was also in my Edwardian lookbook as well. So it can go with a few different historical time periods for history bounding, which I love that. This next skirt I used I used to make it with leftover materials from another project from like 4 or 5 years ago. So I got this fabric to make part of a costume for a musical, but I overbought, so I had all this fabric left over. So I was like, what should I do with it? I wasn't crazy about the color, but then I got this like image in my head of an Edwardian inspired walking skirt, kind of like my interpretation of it, a knee-length version, and I fell in love with that design in my head, so I made it. And this skirt is so pretty. The back, I am in love with the back because it kind of like, with the gathers, it kind of, I feel like gives a little bit of a bustle effect, but like not like weird. And I love the little buttons that I put in, and I did put a placket, so if, you know, this little gap here opens up a bit, it's all covered up. And then I feel like this waistline has a name, like with it dipping down, maybe like a princess waistline. I'm not quite sure, but I really like that. And this was my first time doing felled seams, I think it's called. A felled the seams. I think that's what it's called. It took forever, oh my goodness, but I did it, and I'm really happy I did because it looks just so nice, and it looks really good with my blouse that I made. And I have another blouse that I bought, I didn't make it, but I'm really excited to wear it with that blouse once it gets warm enough again, because this is definitely more a spring and summer skirt. With 2021, I feel like I saw a lot of 18th century pockets emerging. Now, I never really like dabbled a whole lot in the 18th century styles. Wasn't too interested in it, but when I saw the 18th century pockets that you like tie around your waist, I was like, oh, I need to make myself one of those, because the majority of my clothing does not have pockets, and I want to be able to like carry my cell phone around and like pick up my steps and, you know, have it on me. And so I was like, I'll make myself an 18th century pocket. So this is the first one I made. I just looked at a picture of an 18th century pocket and kind of like just designed it. I wanted something really simple, and I realized like that this pocket needs to be washed desperately, because I use it every single day, at least every single day where I'm not wearing something that has a pocket, which usually my clothes just don't have pockets, many of them. So yes, I made it with this really long ribbon tie so that I can put around my waist, and I can bring it back around and tie it then in front of the pocket. And it's just so deep, and it's just perfect. I call this my house pocket, because this is the one I wear around the house. And then I decided to make myself another one for wearing out and about. So this is the first time I used bias tape. So I bound all the edges in bias tape, and the ties are bias tape. And I also started dabbling a little more in embroidery in 2021. So I did this floral embroidery pattern, and I just wanted a bunch of different floral patterns on this pocket and just make it look like different 18th century designs that I had seen. And I remember I was so excited when I finished making this, and I showed it to my sister, and Julianne was just like, oh, it's a reindeer. And I was like, no, it's just flowers. And she's like, oh, I said the wrong thing. But ever since then, I've not been able to unsee it. Like, you tell me, does it look like a reindeer? It's not supposed to. Like, let me know in the comments down below if you think this looks like a reindeer face. Like, I showed my friends too, because I wear this pocket like out and about. I wear it to work. My students love seeing, they call it my little smock or my little pouch. They love seeing my pocket. And my friends are like, oh, that's smart and like unique. And but they're like, Teresa, it looks like a reindeer. My one friend was like, if you were to put 100 people in a room and ask them, does this look like a reindeer? Like every single one of them would be like, yes, it looks like a reindeer. So now that I've said it, try to unsee it. Apparently it looks like a reindeer, but it's not supposed to be. My last, but certainly not least, sewing project is actually an upcycle. A friend of mine gave me a whole bunch of hand-me-down clothing, and one of them was this dress, and this dress was like kind of too big and not really my style. So I cut it up and I made a vest, or as I like to call it, a waistcoat. Oh my goodness, I love this piece of clothing so much. If I could wear it like every single day, I would. It makes me want to either make more or try and thrift some more waistcoats. It is just so cute on, and I was able to tailor it so it fits me perfectly. It had a different collar, but I didn't like it, so I seam ripped it out, and then I just kind of like folded out the two corner edges to make the collar it has now. It has the little buttons. This is my first time making, here, let me see if I can try and show it to you, my own bias tape to bind the edges. In the front, you can tell it's really not perfect. It's kind of uneven, but you know what? Shh, no one can tell. No one can tell. You know, if you don't tell anybody, I won't tell anybody. But that was my last sewing item.